He is, in fact, racist against white people.
Ben Shapiro's got a bad case of Zohran derangement syndrome. That's why he's claiming Mamdani is an anti-white extremist and a threat to public safety, because Ben's too afraid to argue against Zohran's city-first philosophy. So he resorts to slander and pure projection. Listen to this.
He's a career useless person. He's a 33-year-old who's never held a solid job a day in his life until he's going to become mayor of the biggest city in the country. NYPD brass are quietly bracing for a potential mass exodus. I've had guys call me and say, if he wins, I'm quitting. A police source said of Mamdani, it's just weird that New York City would vote for him. I know he's not here for the police. Well, no, he's not. He's there for the radicalism. He's there for the radicalism.
Don't people know he might do something reckless, like arrest a war criminal or close the NYPD's branch in Israel? But maybe that's why Ben suddenly feels entitled to lecture New Yorkers about forgetting the meaning of 9/11.
If you had told me after September 11th that fast forward a quarter century and the person who would be the New York City mayoral frontrunner and Democratic nominee for the party would be a terror-supporting communist, I would have been a little bit surprised, to be honest with you. But it just goes to show you that no lesson is learned permanently in life.
What lesson exactly are we ignoring, Ben? Even his fellow far-right grifters admit Zohran's city-first approach was exactly what voters wanted.
That guy was the only person in the New York City mayor's debate to say he wanted to focus on New York City. All the candidates were asked, if you could visit a foreign country, what would it be? And they, of course, all had an answer. I think most said Israel. Great. And he said, I wouldn't go anywhere. I'd stay in New York. And like, if I want to meet Jewish constituents, I go to their synagogues, their homes or whatever, but I'd be here in New York because that's what I'm doing. I'm running New York. That's my job.
Well, he gave the right answer.
He gave the right answer. He
Yeah.
gave the right answer, at least. And he's talking, I totally oppose his program. Just
Absolutely.
To be clear. I don't think it works, but he's talking about economics.
Yep.
And everyone else is talking about foreign policy. Why is it hard to talk about economics, domestic economics?
I don't know.
Unbelievable. Okay, again, saying that you oppose his agenda and then praising him for talking about economics as a communist is pretty incredible.
Ben's refusal to engage proves their point. People like him just slap on labels, communist, radical, and then try to move on. But all they said was what Ben won't. Zohran was the only candidate who pledged to focus on the city and refused to bend the knee to foreign pressure. And that's what terrifies Ben. He openly wants an America where criticizing capitalism is treated like a national security threat.
He was asked by CNN, what are your feelings about capitalism? His answer was, I don't like it.
Do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism. And I think ultimately the definition for me of why I call myself a democratic socialist is the words of Dr. King decades ago. He said, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country. And that's what I'm focused on.